Well, thanks for everyone for joining us today. My name is Brody Saunders. I'm the founder of Ideal Estate and soon to be the founder of Zenspire. And I'm excited to be here with Dr. Hank. We're going to be talking a little bit about his 3 steps to health, wealth, and success. And to give you a little background, Ideal Estate started really as a great way to help agents really build their business and become more successful. And from that idea, we really came into a new idea, especially in these trying times, to create something that's really geared around helping people be their best self, to help them promote their health, wealth, happiness. And that's where Zenspire came about. And so it's really about becoming your best self and also about being able to inspire others and having a place where you can be inspired. Social media these days can be very negative. And so we wanted to create a positive social network. And so we're looking to throw out the early launch here in just the next few weeks. And it's something we're very excited about and very excited to have Dr. Hank be a part of it. He's been someone who I've looked to throughout the last few years as a mentor for Ideal Estate and other things. And his message, I think, is so phenomenal for our audience and obviously for his own. So great to be with you, Dr. Hank.
Well, Brody, thank you so much. And happy Memorial Day to you and to everybody out there. That it's really an important day for us to remember those who sacrificed it all for us and our freedom here. And I got to hand it to you, Brody, that you just are amazing that you created this Ideal Estate that has helped agents to be able to connect and training and all of this. And I think you have over 1 million agents. Is that right?
Just about 800,000. So
800,000.
Pretty close.
Just incredible. And so for those of you that are in real estate, I suggest you go into that. But probably what I love even most is this isn't just about real estate, that this is about life, and that you've extended this now and really brought it into Zenspire, which I think you're launching. Is that right?
Yeah, we're just getting ready. We're about ready to do the early launch. And just like we did with Ideal Estate, we're really excited to kind of build up that initial user base and to help people do something very different. And one thing we're excited about, instead of a like button, you're going to be able to see how many posts or how many people your posts inspire every day. So you can say, okay, I posted something great, inspired this many people. And then it's a great thing also if you want to be inspired. And that's really, one of the things you talk about too, which is your thoughts, obviously influence your feelings influence your actions. And so having more positive thoughts and more positive feelings is going to lead to more positive outcomes. That applies to every part of your life, whether it's relationships, business, just your overall health. And especially now where people are feeling stressed, there's a great opportunity to introduce something to kind of help people, feel inspired. And you see it with, many people that are successful. They approach problems in a different way.
Yeah.
It's a way that, everyone, I believe, should, really strive to try to accomplish, which is to look at the positive in every situation.
You bet. Well, of course, those words are all dear to my heart, and because I basically, and in fact, all of science has agreed that there's 3 steps to creation, and it's exactly what you were saying. It is this thought and our feelings. In fact, those 3 steps, and this is all the major science disciplines have agreed within the last 5 years, and this is quantum physicists and molecular biologists. They've all agreed that there's these 3 steps to create whatever into our experience. And so that first step, as you were saying, is our thought. And so it's our all-important thought, and it doesn't matter at all what's going on out in the world. This is an inside job, if you will.
Yeah.
And I help first responders a lot, and I'm speaking in front of them this week. I'm speaking in front of them, I think twice, and just did last Friday. And when I say inside job, they all get a kick out of it because they're the criminal stuff, with the cops and everything. And but it is in fact an inside job that you can look at everything as a blessing, and we'll get into that in a minute here. But those 3 steps are our thought And then that thought creates what the scientists say is energy. But what we are saying is it's our feelings.
Yeah.
And so, we've really been told to kind of, not pay attention to our feelings, use our head instead. And in fact, that our heart actually talks to our mind more than our mind talks to our heart. We're just not very aware of that. Once in a while that we think, hey, we got to use, just our smaller mind, if you will. But thoughts create energy, our emotions, and then that energy creates, according to scientists, matter, matter. And this is why thoughts become things. And so it's our all-powerful thoughts and feelings that literally create everything. In fact, the 3 steps that, and we'll be sharing this on your new Zenspire as well, on if you'll just take these 3 steps that we're going to share today, that it literally will lead you to everything that you want and all of your desires, and specifically health, wealth, and success. And in fact, let's talk a little about it. Everybody understands health, that in fact, if we don't have our health, it becomes the greatest inhibitor for our thoughts to think about good feeling thoughts, because we really need these good feeling thoughts, because good feeling thoughts will take us to where we want to go. But if whatever we focus our attention on grows, so if I'm focusing my attention on, gee, I hope I don't get sick, or I hope I don't get this virus, we actually are attracting that into,
inviting it in.
Exactly. We're the inviters. And so, but we've been taught, we've been brought up with, hey, you got to fight against, whatever you don't want. And really what you need to do is love for everything you do want. And it's this idea about just being loving and kind, and then thinking about the things that you do want. So whatever I focus my attention on grows. So health, it's tough to focus my attention on good feeling thoughts when I'm not feeling good. So a real easy way, instead of looking at, oh, I want to lose weight, or I don't want to be sick, it's not those things. It's just simply by, and if everybody would write this down, simply by writing down, I want to be healthier.
Yeah.
And so that's your prayer, if you will. Our prayer is this all-powerful thought. We literally, our thought creates the energy that creates worlds. Our thought can actually move that energy into anything into our life. So it's more powerful. And when we're connected with our source, with God, when we're connected like that, then we're more powerful than a million people, and that we can literally create all that we want. So the first thing about health. The second one is about wealth. And, most of us, I teach about how to tap into the subconscious mind. And in Matthew 18, it shares about where 2 of you agree, it shall be manifested on earth. And what that means is my conscious mind and my subconscious mind need to agree. Well, in our subconscious mind, we have created beliefs, mainly because when we were children, we were told about money now, again, talking about wealth, that the filthy rich. Well, I don't want to be filthy, so thus I don't want to be rich. The root of all evil, is money. And really what that whole paragraph in the Bible says, and I'm an ordained minister and learned that from this, that in 4 years of school, on that actually what that meant was that everything comes from God. It's not that money is the root of all evil, because at the time it was really sheep. In Christ's time, it was sheep you were wealthy if you had a lot of sheep, and for sure, some sheep isn't the root of all evil, right?
Yeah, without question. I think you talk about this a lot, Dr. Hank, and we were talking about it earlier, but no one wants fewer options. And if you take a different approach to wealth and you don't demonize wealth, you want more options. And in my mind, money has always been, you want more options, and no one wants fewer options. And
Yeah.
so that takes sort of some of the negative context out of it. But going back to what you were saying before,
Yeah.
into not leading with a negative thought. So
Mhm.
you don't want, people, I don't want to lose money, then they're going to lose money. So what you want to do is lead with, abundance and not be lack-minded about your approach. There's plenty out there for all of us, is I think something you talk about.
Absolutely. And so talking about that money that it provides more variety for us, more options for us, more selection for us. In fact, you're an excellent example of that you actually have one of the top finance people in the world, right, backing you.
Yeah, we've been very
I don't know if it's okay to talk about
it's fine to talk about it. One of the best, venture capitalists in the entire world, and been very fortunate to have that backing. But we've also been very thoughtful about how we've grown and how we've approached the industry. And right now is the best opportunity maybe ever to create, because right now there's so many things going on that people do perceive as negative, but there are so many opportunities to take a different approach and to have a creative view of the world, to say, okay, well, this virus has created an opportunity actually for a lot of us even to be closer together, even though we can't be physically close together.
Right.
And so, seeing more people talk over the internet and see each other face to face than just having a random phone call or not calling at all.
Right.
And so, while we're separated, perhaps there's a way for us to, become more connected, so that when we do get to meet face to face, and we're pretty open where I am now, we went to dinner for the first time a week ago, which was great. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this changes how we view one another. And even though there's distancing, I actually think in a lot of ways it's going to bring everyone closer together.
Well, that's beautiful. And, you really bring a point home here, is that there's a lot of changes that have happened in this world. And actually what it has done, the more change, the more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And this is this idea about a blessing, that everything is a blessing or not, depending on how you look at it. So you just shared with us on how you decided, hey, I'm going to find the good in this, that if everything comes from God, that it's all a matter of how we look at this and are able to do it. And so you have looked at that. And in fact, I just saw on that the actual number of deaths in America, again, 99% of us are all fine. And there's actually less deaths in this first 4 months this year than there were last year and the year before, and percentage-wise less. In other words, we're actually all more healthier than ever. Most of the people that are leaving were, on their way out, if you will, and our souls never intended us to be here forever. So just thinking of it from that perspective gives us a little relief that, hey, things are okay, and that, it's all right. And it's back to this thinking. And so I have some fun examples, like, when I would, and initially you wouldn't think they were fun, but like I was a general manager with Procter and Gamble, and I would have to let people go. And when I would, I tell them, listen, you may think right now this is a bad thing, but in 3 months from now, 6 months, because, it's just not a good fit here. But in the future, you're going to say, oh my God, am I glad that this day happened, because it wouldn't have brought me what I had. Or another thing, and literally I would always have Procter & Gamble previous employees, those that I had to let go for whatever reason, that they would get back to me. And it might be 3 months, a year, 2 years, whatever. But another one is a divorce. And that's a great one to look at, that the person that you divorce just helps you with more clarity on what you don't want, and then help birth this idea about, hey, asking, what do I want? And so as we do that, so even with this virus, that a great opportunity for all of us, because it's about ask and you shall receive. So what are we asking for? And so with this virus, it's simply don't put a big charge into it, because remember that energy will create then, more sickness or whatever. But if you just look at it and say, this is what I don't want. I don't want this virus. I don't want to be locked down. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to die, whatever. I don't want. And then you ask, what do I want? And when you ask that, what do I want, Brody, that you'll start getting answers, literally thoughts, godly thoughts, divine thoughts on what you want. And what that does is that expands your thought, your emotions beyond where it's ever been before. And that puts the eternity into all of us. Did that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about the law of attraction in so many ways. And, that which is likened to itself is drawn. And so, if you want to draw in positive people, then you want to be positive. If you want to draw in negative people, you'll draw in negative people. And so, it's something that, every day, I spend time meditating, thinking through how I want my day to go. And not just thinking about it, feeling what it feels like. If you have a good meeting, what does it feel like coming out of it? And it went well, it went exactly the way that you wanted it to go.
Yeah.
And that is a better preparation tool. And, playing sports, in business, whatever it is, even just in life, being able to come out of a situation, feeling the way that you wanted to feel, and, sort of manifesting that aspect as well.
And Brody, that's exactly why you're so successful, why, you have built this ideal real estate with 800,000 agents, why you're now, doing developing Zenspire that's coming out here in a couple of weeks, that why you have one of the top finance people in the world behind you, because and everybody to take note exactly on what Brody does. Brody gave you all the secrets, really, on anything that you want. Is meditate. And the reason why that is that's quieting your mind. God can't talk to you, if you will, if you're chattering away. And so it's ask and you shall receive, and the Father does the work. So you don't have to figure out how. You'll be given the answers and attract the people and the circumstances. Then the other thing you shared is on how, what I call pre-paving your day and pre-paving your life. On you have to call it the way you want it if you want to get what you want. And so I have a sentence that has really been going around, a pretty hot topic, if you will. But the sentence says, you can't ask for what you don't want and expect to get what you want.
Exactly.
So I can't, I hope I don't get sick, or, gee, my business is going to be bad, or whatever, that you have to. So another way to look at that is, you can ask for what you want and get what you want. And it's all a matter. We have that power, and God wants to give us everything. We're the only ones who have free will, and we're the only ones that blocks that off, if you will. So this idea about meditation, and then pre-paving, and again, your life, thinking about how glorious this year is going to be, and then this day. And I even go to the point where I do what's called episode intending, in that, like right before I got on today, I went, hey, I just want to be the light. I want to shine. I want to uplift people. I want to be inspiring. I want to have a great time with Brody. And when I say that you'll see, and a lot of people say, well, I've said stuff like that, but it didn't happen. Well, that's because you've said that, but you've also said other things like, gee, I hope I don't goof up, or, whatever, because you in essence are inviting that. We're all these inviters. Now, I want to get to another point that you made that is really the secret of all secrets. And when you can feel it, you'll have it. And so I wrote a book, Think, Feel, and Grow Rich, and with a big emphasis on feel on it. And it's really about literally when you can feel it, that you will have it. So I shared with you, our thought creates our feelings. And so, but for us to be able to actually think about like that future being now, having it right now, and feeling that, and that it will then be manifested. And so let me just share with us, like, I use this little story that can, it didn't exactly happen like this, but it's a good way to understand kind of how life plays, if you will. So before we came here, that we're sitting on God's lap, if you will. And we say, "All right, I can't wait to get to this planet Earth that has all the contrasts that we want. Everything we want, everything we don't want, we brush up against what we don't want, and that bursts. Without that contrast of things we don't want, like this virus or whatever, that it then bursts what we do want. And so we just love it. We're sitting on God's lap, just feeling good. And then we say, hey, when I'm down there, how are we going to communicate? Like, is it going to be English or Spanish or, whatever? And God smiles and laughs and says, oh, no, my dear child, that I love you so much that I'm going to have the perfect communication with you. And, and so we all looked up and said, oh my gosh, really? What's the perfect communication if it's not English or, some language? And God says, it's our feelings, your feelings, that when you feel bad, that means that you're not thinking about this as your higher self, as the universe, as God, whatever words you want to put in there. But when you feel good, it means you are on your lighted path. And isn't that just fantastic to think about that, Brody, that, hey, we got our guidance system. We've had it all along. We've been looking out here, and it's the kingdom within where we have all the answers and all the guidance. What do you think?
Without question there. And, a lot of people shy away from, there are negative experiences that happen to all of us. And you can, I think Joel Osteen says you can go through it or you can grow through it.
Yeah.
And I think being able to go through negative things, it's not bad because it's just preparing and making you stronger. It's very much, almost like the virus. If you hide away all the time, you're never going to build your immune system.
Exactly.
So being able to go through things and be exposed to things, I've never learned anything from a pat on the back. I've learned more from failure, from other things. And it's about your perspective on how do you take the next step? How do you move forward? And how do you stay positive, in negative times, which inevitably always come. And they, Les Brown says they have not come to stay, they come to pass.
Right.
So there's lots of, great, sayings that way. But, those are things I prepare myself every day by, watching videos just like the ones you do. Yeah. And I literally spend at least 15 minutes in the morning. I always wake up early. And I spend at least 15 minutes just thinking about the day I want to have.
Wow. That's
going through and feeling it.
That's just fabulous. Well, that's great. And, I think that at this point that basically, is the teaching, and I invest hours with all of us to, share that. But I would, because the time and where we are, that I would like to understand more about Zenspire and what you're going to be doing, just to have everybody understand more of this amazing, and backed by, again, one of the top finance people in the world, that on how it's going to help all of us to be doing and have more of what we want and have our dreams come true.
Absolutely. So there's so many people that work in self-care, and they do so many different things that make people feel better. Whether it's, teaching a fitness class, yoga, essential oils, whatever it is, motivational speaking, life coaching. And they don't really have a great place. They kind of have to piece together a bunch of different products to kind of get to where they really want to be, which is, hey, I'm looking to create something that inspires people. I want to be able to grow my business, inspire more people. And so how do you create something that gives them all the tools they need and then brings in all the people who want to be inspired? And, as you go through this situation with COVID, you have all these people that, now have to work from home, and giving them a way to connect to new business, inspire people no matter where they might be. That's a very valuable thing. And then you miss out, you're basically removing the clutter that you have with, the Facebooks and Instagrams, because there's a lot of negativity on those other sites. And so create something that is focused. Hey, this is a place for positive thinking. Wow. It's about being your best self. Our tagline is live your life inspired. Wow. And that's true for everyone. So it's not just everyone can be inspired, and everyone can inspire other people, whether, you lost 20 pounds because you went on a new diet and you want to, share that. That's something that's a very social, very fundamental thing. And so we're really taking the best parts of the things that exist and bringing it together in one place, very much like we did with Ideal Estate. And what we're going to do is just make a network where, people can go for the support they need to be their better selves and to be inspired by others without any noise that's negative.
That is just amazing. And I just absolutely love that. And I love a place where, it's just positive, because again, that I had my older brother, he was kind of funny. He said, he called me, he saw one of my shows on health, wealth, and success. And then he called me and he said, I think, it was real nice and positive, but, you're looking through rosy glasses or whatever. And so, but since, again, we review that thoughts become things. So what our thoughts are, so why not have a rose garden, right? Because if you start thinking about, what you don't want, that, you're just going to get that. And there's no reason to be guarded, even though all of us have been taught, we need to be guarded, that we don't need to do that. And so a place, and just to understand too, on these resources. So like some people say, like with me on, so I was able to I was paralyzed from my waist down about 5 years ago. And I was able to, the doctor said I'll never walk again, that, they couldn't operate, that, I basically, my nerves were severed and blah, 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 and I couldn't do it. And I just decided not to believe them. And so I healed myself, and through my thought and just focusing, and I started looking at me walking, and then, one day I started feeling a little energy in my little toe. And then I just focused on that, because remember, whatever we focus on grows. And next thing I knew, it was going up, this energy up my legs, and wow, I'm standing right now and I'm able to walk. And, but at the same time, because I am connected, that I then have been given some other thoughts, like, go to ozone, which is a place to get, more oxygen into you and into your body. And it's just real healthy for you. And I feel great about it. But, since everything comes from God, it's like all of these resources that Zenspire has, it's godly, if you will, and it's all positive. So it's all these good resources. So it could be on whatever. And again, there are actually 3 steps in that first step on these good feeling thoughts, that if you will just have good feeling thoughts about what you like, thoughts about what you want, thoughts about your bright future, that what will happen is you will get thoughts like, for example, to get on Zenspire and to be inspired and to get resources. So you'll literally be led. So that's where this being led is. None of us are successful on our own. We all need other people, other resources, other thoughts, other whatever. And as long as we kind of think of it as this energy that, whether we're taking a supplement, that supplement pill has energy that it's, getting into our body. So it's different energy. And again, the most powerful energy that you can give your body or anything that you desire is your thoughts, because your thoughts create that energy. And so, and then I do inspiration from Dr. Hank every week, every Sunday. And so it's amazing that you're saying, hey, your slogan is about to inspire, because that, and why we're a bird, what the feather of same feather, 2 birds flock together.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Thank you. Well, that's us. And that's all of you out there listening to this, is you attracted us, in this. And then I just want to end with those 3 steps, because the actual 3 steps on how to have health, wealth, and success, that this is the starting point, and you do that, and then again, it'll lead into all these different resources that Brody is, going to be able to offer you. But here's the 3 steps. Is the first one is these good feeling thoughts. And so, thoughts about what I like, thoughts about what I desire. If you run up against, you brush up against a thought that upsets you, you're mad at somebody, you're mad at the government, this virus, whatever, that just say, this is what I don't want, what do I want? And then start having these good thoughts about, I want a happy, healthy, long, you'd start out with, I want a long, happy, healthy, wealthy life. And that's really what all of us want when we kind of uncover it all. So that's step one, is these good feeling thoughts. The second step is the idea of your breath. And so in the Bible, the word spirit, and we're talking about inspire and everything, and so comes right along with this, that spirit in the Bible actually means breath. And the fastest way for you to connect with God, your creator, your higher self, the universe, whatever you want to say or understand with your understanding, that the fastest way to connect is through your breath, but it's deep breathing. And so it's breathing in 5 seconds and then breathing out 5 seconds. And if you'll just do that 6 times, which is a minute, you'll start getting your connection with your source, with God, and then you'll start getting these divine ideas. You'll start getting the answers, the solutions on, of what you desire. So, and that's why all this is so easy. See, we all have the power, like you were saying earlier, Brody, about, hey, we've all had, contrast and brush up against contrast, stuff we don't like. And so the beauty is that we all have the power, no matter what's going on out in our world. We all have the power right now in this red hot moment to, kind of like the red hot, my red shirt here, in this red hot moment, we all have the power to feel good. And when you feel good, you line up with your creator, and that you then are connected. And when you're connected, again, you're more powerful, and you can have, all your dreams will come true. We were meant to have our dreams come true. So good feeling thoughts, breathing deeply. And then the third thing, drink lots of water. And about 80 ounces a day, just as we have millions of cells that are dying every minute. And so we need to refurbish our bodies. And literally in about 3 months, we have a brand new body. Most of our body is brand new. It takes about a year for actually all of it. But our cells are dying and being reborn. And so you need to flush all that and be able to flush that through your system in order to have these healthy cells. So that's it. 3 easy things: good feeling thoughts, deep breathing, and drink lots of water. What do you think?
I think it's fabulous, Dr. Hank. And the other part too is, positive feelings are contagious.
Yeah.
They're more contagious than any virus. And so, if you can sort of, really present yourself in a positive way to other people, you're not only going to attract more positive people around you, you're actually going to help a lot of other people that, maybe might be a little bit down or need help, as we all do.
Yeah.
But positive feelings are far more contagious, and being able to actually, make your thoughts translate into feelings. The feelings are what translate into positive action.
Man, I just love that. And it's such a great spin on it about this contagious, this good feelings is contagious. It rises above. That's why none of us have to be worried about getting sick, dying, or whatever. All we need to do is be at that high flying state. And now we know the 3 steps on how to get there. Then we can be high flying. And I sometimes like looking at it as flying with your angels, having the high flying vibration equal to your desires. And that's where you're actually having it. And when you feel that you have it, that it is yours, and you will see it. You'll open up your eyes and you'll see it before you. So that's beautiful. And that's exactly it. As I thrive, as we thrive, Brody, so the whole world thrives around us. And so for all of us to think about thriving, don't think about things you don't like, you don't want. Don't fight against anything, because fighting against anything just makes it bigger. What you want to do is attract all of those things into your life. So with that, thank you so much for having me on your show, Brody.
Thank you, Dr. Hank. Always great to be with you.
Yeah, and so this kicks off Zenspire, and then how would we get into Zenspire, or when is it available, or how?
It should be available in the next couple of weeks, and it will be early launch. So it will be, sort of a way to get started. And then we should be, fully launched with all of the products by late summer. So we're excited about it. But I have it on my phone, as I was showing you before, and it's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
we really modeled the logo after the Tree of Life, just really making it something that every part of your life, being inspired and inspiring others, is probably the most fundamental thing we can do as humans, to be good to one another.
No, I just love that. And again, it's Zenspire, so Spire as in Inspire, but Zen in front of it, Zenspire. Well, Brody, thanks so much for having me on the show, man. You're just amazing. And to all of you, that we love you. We send you inspiration, upliftment, and know all is well and getting even better.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Dr. Hank.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.